Hi everyone, this is Donnie, and today I'm doing my very first Flosstube video. I'm mainly diamond painting, but I have been doing a lot of cross stitch lately, and there's just some things I want to show you, and some people really wanted me to share what I'm doing. My very first video, though, is going to be how I do something. It's something that it took me a long time to figure out how I was going to organize my floss for my projects, because I've got a few going at once, and I decided on doing drop cards. And if you don't know what a drop card is, that would be these, and I just have them labeled with the DMC, the color. This came off of my chart from Heaven and Earth Design, because I'm doing a max color diamond paint cross stitch, and I'll show it to you when I start it, but I'm still organizing threads for it. This is just part of the colors that are needed for it. Here's another ring of them, and then I have one more, and that's the ones that I've actually, no, not this one, that's a different project I'm working on, this one. So I've got all of these already organized and set up on drop cards, and I actually have all the drop cards made for the rest, but it's going to fill up on all of these for this one project. So it's a big project, and it's taken me a long time to get it ready. So this is how organized it looks. I mean, this looks so pretty to me, having all these colors side by side. These I have in numerical order until I actually start on it, and then I might want to rearrange them by symbol. That's how my mind works when I'm looking for my next color, or my next, I do it in numerical order, and then by letter, and then by symbol. Like I'll group the symbols that are above the numbers on the keyboard, like the at symbol, the ampersand, the exclamation point, the pound sign, the dollar sign. I'll put all those next to each other, and then I'll do all the symbols that have squares of some kind, and then triangles, arrows. I'll put all those next to each other, and that makes it easier for me to find where my next symbol is coming from. But right now, like I said, they're all in numerical order, and there's a lot of them. This right here is all my colors that go, the numbers that go up through the 100s. So actually these are below 100. This goes to number 34, because I have a lot of colors that are the newer ones that are below 150. But I thought I separated them, where I'm going to put all of the ones on here that go up through the 100s, because that's what I have. I don't know. I don't remember, but I have this bag right here just has my 100 through 699, and then I have another 2 more bags full of floss that will need to go on the rest of these. Now, what I was doing was I was twirling the yarn like this so that it would lay nice and flat, but when you go to pull a piece of thread off to do the cross stitch, it doesn't pull out nicely, so I am having to go back through and just uncurl it, even though it looks so pretty twisted like that, but it doesn't lay right, and when you go, it just makes the thread knotted. So you got to keep them straight. That's something I just learned. So how I make these are really nice and thick. Oh, there's my camera. They're very thick, because I was watching some videos and someone was saying how they used them, and they made them out of stock paper, and they were easily pulled apart, ripped or cut or broken. So I was thinking on it, on how am I going to do this to make them sturdy, so that that's not going to happen, because I don't want to put in all this effort to make these and then end up having to remake them because I'm ripping them. So what I came up with was an idea to, let me move these out of the way, find a place to put them. I'm doing this actually in the living room, and I'm in my craft room right now, so things are in different spots. So what I'm using are pages from one of these that I got. I got these a long time ago, a couple years ago. Around Christmas time, they were on sale at a really good price at Michael's. I've been trying to keep my eye out for more, but I haven't found any yet. I'm not looking meticulously, but this set is one of my favorites. The ones that I did on these were the mermaid pack, and you can see some of them. They're really cute. They're holographic. They've got shells and different designs, mermaid designs. So I did that one first, and this one, oh, it has some really cute stuff. I'm just going to pull one sheet out and show you an example of how I do it. Okay, so these are 12 by 12 sheets, and the sheets that I actually end up being are 8 by 10 or, you know, A4 size. So I'll show you, but look at how pretty that is. Holographic diamonds. Those are going to look really cool. But you can see this isn't as thick as stock paper, but is thicker than regular printing paper. But what I do in order to make it even thicker is I laminate it. But first, I'm going to cut it to the size of the lamination pouch, which I have to find. I put somewhere. I had everything set out ready to go, and then I rearranged things, and I don't remember where I put it. Okay, I'm going to find that, and I'm going to show you exactly how I make this, and then I'll get to that in a second. The punches that you'll need in order to make the drop tag, the card drops, whatever they're called. What I use is a 2.5 inch oval punch. And here's one I got off of Amazon. I've already had to replace it once because after I punched out so many, it started dulling. And I even did the aluminum foil to sharpen it, and it still didn't do it very well. And it still was causing problems to where I was having to trim them, and it wasn't punching all the way through. So I replaced it, and it's already starting to dull, and I've only done one sheet. So I got this one, which looks exactly like it, but it doesn't have the 2.5 inch written on there, but it is a 2.5 inch punch. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I actually found that it is a little sharper so far. They look identical, but as you can see, one has the 2.5 inch written on there. Wait, where am I? This one has 2.5 inches written on there, and this one doesn't. This is the one from Hobby Lobby. And I did also notice that the blades are shaped, they're pointed in different spots on these. So that might make the difference. I don't know. But that's to punch out this size hole here. And then there's the other punch. Here we go. I got these. I did get the rest of these on Amazon, and they're working fine. This is the same brand as the one I got on Amazon. It's a 1 inch circular punch. I just put it in there, and I just kind of center it, punch it. So then now we have our spot for the thread. And then I just picked a heart shape because it works really well. But this is, I don't remember what size, but it's just a small heart punch. And I do it centered at the top, like so. And there we have our drop card. And then you put it on these hooks. I also got these on Amazon, and I'll link all this stuff down below that I got on Amazon. But these were hard to find in this size. These are 3 inch rings. They're binder rings. That's all they are. And I got a box of 12. You can get them in bigger packs, but I didn't know how many I would need. So I just bought 12. And that's all I did. And so now these are super sturdy. You can use, I'm using stickers on them because I'm afraid whiteout marker will wear off, and I don't want that to happen because, especially with a project that's going to probably take me a year or so to finish. You could use permanent marker, but the same thing happens. Permanent markers also wear off amazingly. As they get rubbed, numbers can get worn off, and that's not something I want. I wanted something that's going to be permanent, so I used my Xyron sticker maker to make I made a copy of the key from my Heaven and Earth Designs sheet that gave me all the different threads I was going to need. I made a copy of it, and I ran it through the Xyron sticker maker, and I put each one on here as I went down the line. I just put them all on there. They're all on here. I even put the color on there, so I know I'm putting the right family of color on there. So we've got the symbol, the DMC number, and the color. So it's on every single one of them. If you want to make them bigger, if that's something, you know, you need something larger, that works too. So this one is, you can see the size difference. See, this is how the size I cut mine. I cut mine in 30-inch strands, and I use two strands. So I double it up, and I use the loop method to start. So I'm using a 15-inch strand to cross stitch with. This is another kit I bought that was actually pre-kitted, and as I'm coming across those colors, I'm putting them on the drop cards, and I label them as I go. So these aren't all labeled, but you can see these are much longer, and that's how they came, was in this length. I prefer actually using, and this is the doubled size. So the single strand would be, not single strand, the double strand would be this long, because that's what this is. It's about that long. And you can fit quite a bit on each one of these punch cards or drop cards, because this is just, you know, a little bit. But then you can see also here, I've got a big bunch here, and there's others that are going to have even more. I haven't gotten to hardly any of the colors yet that I've had to organize, but I'm just doing it, like I said, as I go along. It's my very first full coverage piece, and you'll see it. I'll show it to you when I get around to doing my next Flosstube video. So yeah, that's why this one's much longer. It's got my beautiful purples and blues in it. So if you know me, you know I love those colors. So anyway, I've actually been saving all of the little heart pieces that punch out. I might find a use for them. I've been keeping them in this baggie, because they have these little slide doors on the back where you just open it up. You can open it up, and I just empty it into the bag when it's done. And when it comes to using the 1-inch, it just pops right out the hole after I've punched it. So it punched out, and these are, I mean, they're got to be good for some craft, but they're laminated. I just don't want to waste it because there's so much. So I've got this bucket full of laminated round piece circles from all the ones I've punched out, and then my drop cards. You know, these are ones I just did the punching because I was checking my new puncher that I've already made up. I just need to finish the other punch holes in them. But we're going to go ahead and do this sheet now. I'm going to switch to overhead view, and that way you can see this whole thing, how I do it from start to finish. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I have my laminator warming up here, and I've got my paper cutter, and right here I have a laminating sheet, and I've just laid it on top of my paper that I'm going to cut here. Now, what I'm doing is, you can see the laminating sheet comes to about right here on this side, and then it comes to right about there on this side. Now I'm going to want to cut it so that I can get the most out of the leftovers as possible, because what I do is I take, I believe it's 3 sheets, 3 of these, to make a new one. So the leftover piece from this one and 2 others will go inside of a laminating page, and I can get another 18 drop cards out of it without wasting this paper, because it's so beautiful. I do not want to waste it. So I've just got it lined up against the edge, and you can do it exactly the same size. I don't know. I haven't used laminators for very long, but I have found that they don't need an excess around the border like the self-adhered ones that you get at Dollar Tree. you need to actually have something around the edge so that the two pages can seal together. On this, it doesn't work like that. You can have it all the way up to the edge and it still works perfectly for what you're laminating. Okay, so I'm going to get this cut so that I'm not cutting the laminating paper. Yeah, this should cut it right along the edge of that page. So look at how much I have here. This is, I don't know how long this is. Let's see. This is another 3 inches. So that is quite a bit that's left over. And now I have this sheet. There's a little bit left over here. You could either cut it off or just leave it and cut it off afterwards. I don't really mess with it, but I'll just do it right now because my laminator is still warming up. I'll just stick it in here and cut off that bottom edge piece. Just depends on how much time you want to spend, you know, cutting the pieces off. Okay, where is mine? There it is. And the edge is right there. And you know, this smaller size is a little harder to line up. So just, there we go. And my laminator is warmed up, and I didn't cut off enough, but there's not much. I end up throwing that piece away because there's not much I can do with it. I'll just cut it off with scissors afterwards because see, there's just a little bit left. You can see that just a little line left. I can cut that off easily with scissors. So I've got my laminator, and I'm doing it hot laminating. I've never tried cold. I don't know what the difference is. But I'm using hot, and I just put my paper in there, my decorative paper all the way into the top. And it might be over the edge a little bit. That's not a problem because we're going to be punching holes in it anyway. And then I stick the side that's got the fold in first and let it go. And there we have it. Still hot, a little bit hot there. But look how thick it is. Super thick. Now I'm going to turn this off, let it cool down, and I'm going to use my punch that I found is sharper, the one from Hobby Lobby. Looks beautiful. You can see all that holographic image stuff. Beautiful. Now, I've never used a laminator before this, and I can tell you, I am so impressed with laminators. It just amazes me how that flimsy piece of laminating paper could make something this thick and sturdy. So I'm in love with laminators. All right, so I take my big punch. I have a lot of wrist problems, so I can't do too much at once. But I want to be able to look at the bottom to make sure it's lined up. So I turn it over when I do it. And I line it. I'm going to do it on this end because this is the end with the extra piece. And I'm going to just zoom in a little bit so you can see. All right, so I make sure that the hole is lined up, not over the edge, but I want to get as much out of this as possible. Lined up at the bottom, lined up on the side to where it's going to make a complete oval. I just pinch a little bit so it grabs on, and then I use 2 hands. And there we have the hole punched. You can get 18 ovals out of this. So I get 3 across and 6 going up. So I'm going to just punch these out real quick. I do that side, and then I come over to this side, and that way I'm not having to stop. I'll try to get as much done at once as possible. Got my 3. There, and then I take a pair of scissors And I just cut the ovals off so that I can move on to the next row. So I will be right back with you, and I will, after I get this entire page cut out. Okay, and we're done. Now, as you can see with how much room there is on this leftover, is that you have a little bit of room to play with in between your ovals that you do on each row. You don't have much room to play with in between the rows. So you're going to want to make sure that you are going to the edge as far as you possibly can without, you know, going over, so that you get the full oval. Because if you don't, you could run out of room. And, you know, some of my punches actually have like an edge missing from it because I didn't want to waste it. It just wasn't perfectly oval. And that's okay because, you know, this is for my own personal use and I don't mind. But I do hate that all this much is being wasted. There's, you know, I cannot find a use for these pieces, so this much gets thrown away. All right, so all that's left to do is to punch out the holes for where the thread goes and where you put it through your binder ring. But we have some beautiful drop cards here. Look at that. Really pretty. And like I was showing with my example before, just take the round and get a little closer up on this one, and you see I just kind of center it, punch. My wrist is not the best. This one just falls right out. These also fall out. They have the slot in the front for them to just fall out. And then my heart punch, I normally do I do the 1 inch all the way through, and then I come back through and do all the heart punches afterwards. But there we go. Simple and easy. And I mean, if you really want to spend the time, you could actually label the back of your paper right here before you laminate it, so that you can have permanent numbers, and then you can just put the symbol on the outside with a sticker or with, you know, permanent marker, and then use alcohol, however you want to do it. But like I said, any type of marker, you chance it getting rubbed off when you are doing your project. So there you go. This is my very first Flosstube. I hope you enjoyed it. I really don't know what you're supposed to do with Flosstubes. I haven't watched too many, but that's what I wanted to share with you. I took little bits and pieces from different videos I've watched, and then my own ideas, and tried to figure out something unique and something fun, something that I'm going to enjoy using with my project, because I'm sure it's going to be years. It's going to take me years, because I have 3 full coverage pieces. 2 came from Heaven and Earth Design, and 1 I got off of a website I saw an ad for. So I don't know where I found this website, but beautiful cross stitch that I'm doing, that I've actually already started because it was already organized and everything. So I won't be able to start on my Heaven and Earth designs until I actually get all my thread organized, because I feel like that needs to be done before I can get it started. Plus, I'm waiting on a Millennium frame because it's really big. And so the one that has the max color will go on that Millennium frame, and I know it's going to take a few months to get it. I ordered it about a month ago, so I'm still waiting for it. And I think that's, you know, I feel, oh, I have plenty of time before my frame gets here, so I can take my time getting this kitted up and organized. But, you know, I'd rather be cross-stitching than organizing and getting it ready. But I have plenty of drop cards for the Max Color kit, and I'm not sure if I have enough yet for the kit that I started on, because that has 90 colors, and I've only used probably 15, maybe 20 colors so far. And I've already punched some out. I've been punching them out every here and there, but I laminated a bunch of pages, not realizing how many drop cards I could get out of one page, plus the leftovers, how many pages extra that made for me. So I have a lot of drop cards, but I just have a feeling I still don't have enough to make sure that all three of my full coverage kits are going to have one drop card per color. And I'm not sure how I'm going to organize my threads afterwards for when they're not being actively in a kit. But when, they're just waiting for a kit for me to pull from, because I think I have a lot of colors now since I got that 200, I think it's 246 colors in the one kit. So I have a lot, and some of the colors are only required, it's like 0.1 or 0.01 parts of a skein. So there's only like a handful of stitches that need, and I had to buy a whole skein for it. So I will have a lot left over, but I'm still diamond painting too, and I'm loving both. And I don't want to stop diamond painting, but I don't want to stop cross stitching either. So I will actively be doing both cross stitch and diamond painting. In fact, I diamond painted last night, and actually the last 3 nights in a row. And I haven't done anything yet today, but I'm obviously got cross stitch on the mind because I'm making this video. So I hope you enjoyed my first I keep forgetting the name of it, Flosstube video, and let me know your thoughts. Do you use drop cards, or what do you use to organize your kits? Do you bobbinate them and keep them in boxes? Because that's originally what I was going to do, and then I watched some videos, and yeah, I don't want the kink, even though it's easy to get them out. I think I would rather have them out like this, because I think it's prettier for one thing, and it's easy to just pull a single thread off. And if you don't know how, I'll show you how to do that in another video, to just pull one single thread that you need, pull it right off of there and thread it. So after much research, this is how I decided I wanted to do it. And you don't want to drop it, because this is what could happen. But yeah, it took me a while to decide how I was going to kit them up, and I'm happy with my decision. And I'm just curious to know what the consensus is out there as to what other people like to do for kitting up. Do you like to bobbinate them and then put them in the containers with the lids, or do you like to do it this way? I know some people put them on hangers. But I just don't have any room in my closet because it's filled with diamond paintings, as you can see right there on my door. Those are my most recent ones that are, I need to fill up that hanger tier before I can put it in the closet. But I've got like 20 hangers like that in my closet of diamond paintings. So I don't have closet room for this kind of thing. But some people also put them in boxes, like file boxes. But I'm still, like I said, I'm still pretty new to this. I've not actually had a stash of threads before, but with doing these Heaven and Earth designs, I'm going to have a lot, and I'm sure I'm going to have a lot left over. So I'll figure that as I go. I'm not finishing anything anytime soon. So for now, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm loving it, and I'm loving making these drop cards. They're just so pretty, and the different designs that you can make them from the different papers in those scrapbooking books, I guess they're called. They were really inexpensive when I bought them. I don't remember how, like $3.50 or something, which is really cheap. You can get them at Walmart, but I'll link some down below if you don't know where to get them. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. So, well, I gotta kind of say my saying. I usually say have fun diamond painting. But have fun cross stitching, have fun diamond painting, or whatever craft it is that sparks your fancy for the day. I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to always sparkle wherever you go and whatever you do. Take care, everyone. Bye.